COVID is the big issue. And as we head into Christmas, I tell you what, online orders is what we're all doing at the moment. It'll be good when the shops start opening up again and we can actually go in store to buy things. But if you've got any kids listening right now, you might want to block their ears because apparently Santa may not make it to Australia this year with deliveries. Goodness me. You would have heard Angela Cramp from the Licensed Post Office as an organisation with Ben Fordham earlier today talking about the big delays at Australia Post. But it's not the only delivery service experiencing big problems. It's right around the world. And unless you are acting very, very quickly, we're being told it's likely that your Christmas presents may not arrive on time this year. So what's going on? Should we expect more delays like this in the future, even after the pandemic? Well, Enrica Santarame is one of Australia's leading import exporters from Global Forwarding. So she knows a thing or two about deliveries and she's on the line for us now. Enrica, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you very much for giving this issue airtime.
Well, say it isn't so. Santa's got to come at Christmas, please, after the couple of years we've had.
Oh, look, Deb, it's been my colleagues and I in the transport industry, the freight forwarders and transport operators, we've been in the thick of this for 18 months. So you know what, the photos that we've seen from Australia Post and the backlog, Deb, that's just the tip of the iceberg, let me tell you.
Yeah, because it's phenomenal. The piles of boxes on Australia Post delivery centres, and we've had the US Postal Service stop their deliveries to Australia. It seems online deliveries are the only way we can go at the moment, but we can't guarantee we can get those parcels to our front door.
No, so in all fairness to Australia Post and US Postal Services, in order for them to clear the backlog and a short-term operational fix, they have to stop operations in order to clear the backlog and deliver what they have in the depot at that time. So because of all the COVID closures, stop works and all of that that's going on, they have to do that. So we have to at least have some gratitude that they're doing the best they can under extraordinary circumstances. The reality is we need more planes and more ships.
And that's it, because it is a global supply chain issue that we're facing here. And with international border closures, that's compounding the problem. But we've also had a number of disruptions, including strikes at our ports too. Is that, again, making the problem even worse?
Oh, 100%. The relentless, never-ending strikes by the MUA on our waterfront, despite the country being on its knees, despite a pandemic, is a kick in the guts to every single Australian, and it's just the wrong thing to do for Team Australia.
Yeah, I agree. I think there are ways that you can go about strike action, but when we've already got these issues with supply and delivery, then to make that an issue at this time, there are better ways to go about it than disrupt it even further. What will it mean for retailers too? Because with the restrictions starting to come off in New South Wales from Monday, possibly earlier, we will see shops reopening, retailers reopening their doors, not just to online deliveries, but will they have stock to have on the shelves?
Deb, the big retailers have been quite savvy in ordering early. They could see this coming. They know what they're doing. And they've had the cash flow and the resources. It's more the SME market. It's the mum and dad businesses out there. It's the sole traders. It's the local florists, the local bookshop. We really need to make a real effort to support these smaller players who have struggled through lockdowns in New South Wales, in Victoria. And Queensland, because Queensland have not had the tourists that would have normally been visiting at this time of year. So we really need to support the smaller businesses and buy from them.
I think, though, that it seems a bit ad hoc because, I don't know about our listeners or for yourself as well, Enrica, but the delivery of some parcels seems to happen without a hitch, and it turns up as they say it will in a number of days sometimes. But then you have other deliveries that just seem to take weeks and even longer in worst case scenarios. Why is there no consistency?
So that's quite a complicated metric in shipping, in freight. So, for example, if it's coming on a DHL freighter service, then that aircraft is purely dedicated for parcels and packages. But if it's relying on a passenger flight, and we haven't had many passenger flights in the last 18 months because of our closed borders, then there will be delays. And then the other delays are the lockdowns and COVID restrictions in other countries. So, for example, in Japan, I know I was speaking to a car dealer the other day, a dealership, and he has like 63 orders backlogged because in Japan they closed down the Toyota manufacturing hub because they had an outbreak, a COVID outbreak. So they just had to wrap that up. So that causes delays as well. So the delays are not just in the flow of the supply chain, but even at point of origin. And then once the goods get here, there are delays furthermore. So, but going back to your question on parcels, so DHL and, for example, the FedExes of the world, they have dedicated aircraft. So that's why you may see an order rock up at your front door after 3 days. But if it's a service that's relying on another passenger flight, well, then they're going to wait until that passenger flight has enough passengers on board and has enough freight to justify the flight. And that's why the delays are happening.
So if people want to guarantee that they do have presents under the tree for Christmas, because that's what we're being warned about, that if you haven't started the ordering and the online ordering already, you may well miss out. Really? Is that the case, that with months to go, we could well not get the deliveries in time?
Pretty much. Deliveries will stop around about the 15th of December. So we really don't have much time now. And as I've been saying, look, Santa's going to do his best, but it may very well be the Easter Bunny delivering what you've ordered.
Oh, goodness. Please don't say that. We've had enough. We've had enough to ruin everything already. How do you get into this game too, just being an import-exporter? I know that there's been a Seinfeld episode when George said he was an importer-exporter as a joke, but how do you get into this game?
Well, I work with importers and exporters. We're freight forwarders, so we actually move their goods. I got into it by pure mistake many, many years ago and ended up loving it. And I've always loved my work, but I have to say, Deb, the last 18 months have really tested the resilience factor.
I bet, yeah, not being able to deliver on what you need to, literally and figuratively as well. It's a challenging business to be in when you've got these global shortages and global issues to contend with. Well, let's hope that the predictions don't ring true and that, like me, because I always do leave it to the last minute, we won't miss out over Christmas. But Enrica, always good to talk. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Deb. Take care.
Yeah, and Enrica Santarame there, she's from the Director of Global Forwarding. And Vandelay Industries was the fake company that George Costanza set up. He was an importer-exporter on Seinfeld. It was very funny.